made out of one block of stone, 26-meter high. One block of stone, 26-meter high, sandstone, representing one of the kings of Egypt sitting over his throne. Two statues next to each other. They're supposed to be in a front as a decoration in a front of his own temple. You remember when we say that they separate between the temple and the tomb. So the gentleman, his tomb was in the Valley of the Kings, and they bury him or inside his tomb and making a temple for him to receive the offering every single day by the sunrise overlooking the green land. Unfortunately, there is earthquakes happened in Egypt several times, and it's affecting badly this temple. So the temple destroyed it, and it was hidden under the flood and the silt of the river Nile, and what still exists from it is only the two statues. But because of the earthquakes, it has a lot of cracks and a lot of pieces missing, and when the wind goes through those cracks, it creates a sound, looks like an old lady crying. And that's why we were calling the two statues the crying statues of Memnon. And the Greek people, they give it to this name when they were here in Egypt. And then when the Roman came to Egypt, we say before that the Romans, they didn't appreciate the Egyptian life very much. So one Roman emperor, his name is Hadrianus or Hadrian. He came to this area and he saw the statues, and they were calling the statues the crying statues, and the Greek going in front of it, you know, and making like a ceremony around the statues. So he would like them to stop doing that, and he says you were stupid. So he restores the statue. He fell down in the spaces between and the cracks, and by this way no more crying and no more Greek surrounding this statue. That's happened by the year 197 AD. From that time they stopped calling the statues Memnon. And by the year 1824, we have Jean-Francois Champollion, a French engineer and architecture. He succeeded to decipher the ancient Egyptian language from a piece of stone. We called it Rosetta Stone. And from that time we know how to read and write this language. And when we come to read the language and the text by the side of the throne, we discover it's not belong to the Greek period, it is belong to the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. For a king, his name is, and a pharaoh, his name is Amenophis III, or Amenhotep III. And he was ruling Egypt 1360 BC. Before the time of the Greek by something like 1,000 years. We know the story of the statues, and even we make some excavation behind the statues, and we discover the rest of the temple which is under the ground, and we do some restoration and excavation there now. But still until today, in the guidebooks and in the itinerary, in the schedule of the groups, they called it under the name of the statues of Memnon.